Alright, so I guess I've got to talk about it. Episode 37 of Gozyuger. This might be the worst episode out there so far. And watching this episode, it was really awkward and really weird watching it with the whole controversy that happened 24 hours before the episode airing. So if you don't know, Maya Imamori, known for playing Summoner or Gozu Unicorn, was fired and let go from the show, but not only that, from an agency due to an underage drinking incident. I say incident with quotation marks because I feel like there's a lot more going on with this story. But Toei basically snapped this character out of existence throughout the episode, trying to remove any shots from Maya Imamori from the show entirely, whether it be awkward cuts, censoring her out, which there is like a shot where she's literally like standing behind a clothes rack and they like blur her out, like they do the classic blur where they sort of like motion blur it. Like they were doing everything they can to sort of get the actress's face out of the show entirely. And then when she shows up in the episode, she's like dumped over by someone completely different. And it was noticeable. It was really, really freaking noticeable. I mean, they don't even play the usual intro where they actually played the intro song, but it was like a weird clip show episode where it showed clips throughout the episode that didn't have Sumino in there, but it was mostly morphed sequences, Zord debuts, and it was a mishmash between the episode 16 intro we got a while ago. So they were doing everything they can to scrub her from existence with this episode. Not only that, it was kind of a weird episode because you have this scene where Kumarai Mashiro was getting drunk off honey, so the timing for this episode was just really bad and really awkward. And you can say that episode 37 of Gozyuger, the original cut, is lost media. Episode 38 is lost media because the original synopsis when that leaked online or when that dropped online, that was going to have Suna reuniting with her sister. And now because Maya Imamori is no longer in the show, well, Toei is scrambling to figure out what they're going to do for that episode because, you know, she's been removed from the production entirely and they tried to get rid of her entirely. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. But also people are bringing this up online. The movie when it gets released on home video, what are they going to do with that? Is that going to be awkwardly cut? Is the original release of that movie going to be lost media? Because no doubt about it, if they went through extreme lengths to censor out Maya's face throughout this episode, what are they going to do for that movie? That's the big question on everyone's mind when that finally drops on the Toei Tokyo website. So we'll see what's going on with that. But I hope that the original cut for this episode leaks online. I hope we get to see it in some shape or form, or we get the original scripts for episode 37 and 38 moving forward in the nearby future. The best comparison I've seen with this situation is that I'm sure that I'm going to reveal my age here, is when Pokemon Black and White was airing. There was meant to be this story arc with Team Rocket where they began attacking one of the major cities and they were sort of ramping up this big story arc in the show, but then the earthquakes happened, so they had to scrap that in storyline entirely, and they kind of like brushed it off and it never happened. So they had to work around that episode and rewrite that whole thing with everything happening. And the same could be said with Gozyuger. Like, the show is going to be very different moving forward. They're probably going to have to change a lot of things moving forward with the show, like the ending, the characters' goals, interactions with characters, friendships they've had with characters. Like, the chemistry is going to be really weird moving forward, and the show is not going to feel like the same for the past next couple of 13 episodes as we get closer to the end. And I know a lot of people have probably dropped Gozyuger by now, or they've stopped watching, or they said they're going to stop watching, and I can understand where they're coming from. But seeing the train wreck that was episode 37 and how they handled it, I kind of want to see where this train wreck is going to go and see what Toei is going to do moving forward to see how they'll handle this situation. Because how they handled it entirely was terrible. Her agency dropping her, Toei like acting like she never existed. From what I've heard, like Sumino merch in Japan has been like taken off the shelves. Like Gozu Unicorn toys were like taken off the shelves, so that's crazy. So I say stock up on Gozu Unicorn merch, that is for sure. But I know this was more of a rant than a review, but this episode was not a fun watch, especially knowing what happened 24 hours prior and how Toei and Maya's agency has sort of treated this whole situation. And especially Toei's movement to sort of scrub her from existence in this episode. I mean, like, this episode was just not a fun watch. It was really awkward, not a lot of fun, I will say that. And I'll see what's going to happen with episode 37 if we get it. If something happens, I'll definitely cover that. We'll see what's going to happen moving forward. But I do wonder what's going to happen with like scans and stuff if we get any throughout like this month. So that should be interesting. But Gozyuger episode 37, an awkward watch, not a fan of it. Probably one of the worst episodes to come out recently, especially because the whole situation left this episode a sour taste in my mouth, how they handled things, but I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen moving forward. I'll probably keep covering Gozyuger on the channel, and we'll see what's going to happen, but yeah, this episode was not great.